Hey there, inspired moms, inspired community. How are you? It's Jamima. Welcome back. Listen, today we are going to dive into a very important topic. We're going to talk about 3 ways that you can implement instantly to help you move forward when you feel stuck, right? Something that most of us deal with. All of us have been stuck in one area or the other. So today's broadcast is not only going to focus on strategies, we're also going to talk about action steps. And I will also share a little bit of my experience of when I've been stuck before in relationship to these strategies that I'm going to share with you. So grab a pen and paper. You may want to take some notes on this if you are feeling stuck currently and haven't been able to create a strategy on how to move forward. I jotted down my own notes here so you'll see me glance back and forth on a few things that I did not want to forget about sharing with you today. And so where do I want to begin here? Okay, so the first strategy that I want to begin to encourage you to implement is to love yourself. Now, listen, the strategies that I'm going to share with you today are going to be some of the best because you already have them on the inside of you. You already have them available to you in your toolbox. And perhaps you have forgotten about them because of life circumstances. Perhaps you have not been using them appropriately. Perhaps you are letting the fog of just being in a funk just keep you stuck, right? And so these could be reminders, but these could be also specific ways that you can remember that you have some of the things that you already need, some of the resources you need in order to move forward is at your disposal. So don't forget it, okay? The first thing, yes, is to love yourself. What do I mean by that? So many times we forget about what that could look like, okay? It is not inspiring to keep feeling deflated about a specific situation, right? And what could be depressing you right now? Could it be a loss of a relationship? Could be a loss of a job, a loss of a career, feeling lost in the career that you're presently in right now? Could it be not feeling supported enough, right, by those that you were counting on supporting you? I know it is hard. We can spend probably a long time thinking of all of the reasons why we failed or all of the things that we could have said or we could have done in order to put us in a specific place right now that we're not. How about if we extended grace to ourselves? How about if we extended self-compassion to ourselves for those things that we have accomplished, right? And so when you feel unsupported by others, it could hit you hard because oftentimes we rely on positive reinforcement in order to keep us moving forward. And so some of the action steps that I could advise today is to look at the issue at hand. What are you facing that you need to change and give yourself credit for? You have the desire to change. That in itself deserves some credit. Give yourself credit. How about if you wrote down 5 things that you love about yourself, that you adore about yourself? 5 things that set you apart from the rest. 5 things that make you unique, even in the way that you overcome challenges. Those are things that are part of you. Embrace them, and they really elevate the way that you look at yourself and remind you that you are worth more. The second thing is to set your intentions, right? As we move forward, we can completely get overwhelmed, right? And when you get to this point, it is really time to begin to include in your day-to-day, right, the setting your intentions in order to meet the commitments, right, that may be thrown at you, whether it's raising children, meeting career expectations, setting achievable goals, right, improving in your business and actually making your business a thriving business, right? How do you manage life's uncertainties? Chances are there are more than one area that we could talk about today that you're looking at tuning up, right? And pick 1 or 2. Don't pick too many at a time because then the overwhelm will only increase. Pick 1 or 2 areas to first manage your overwhelm, right? Not to manage those areas, but to manage your overwhelm, pick one or two. What are some of the other areas that I could be referring to? Perhaps you are thinking about making some shifts physically, emotionally, mentally, relationally, financially, right? There's been times where I myself have been stuck in any of those areas, and it took time for me to work it out, but I had to develop an action step to pick one or two areas where, I knew that I needed help. That's the first thing, is to identify and recognize that I needed help, right? And then setting an intention of how I was going to see my best self in this area moving forward. That's important now to hear. See your best self moving forward, not what you used to be or what you are not right now, but moving forward from here on out. What are some of the areas that you can set intentions and target dates to help give yourself time in order to be able to work on those, right? Giving yourself target dates and setting some short-term goals removes some of the pressure of you having to accomplish something right now. Although certain things are necessary for you to do right now, but imagine if you gave yourself short-term goals for 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months, right? To begin to give yourself room to work progressively towards those things while building momentum towards your target. Short-term goals to me is just that. It means that you are creating momentum towards that target goal that you have. When you have your short-term goals and even down the line, your long-term goals set in place, then your intentions become a little bit more attainable, right? And you begin to imagine yourself there, right? It may feel a little bit silly, let me tell you that in the very beginning, because you're going to feel like an imposter, but I'm not there yet, right? But like one of my favorite songs talks about, you have to see yourself in the future. You have to see yourself in the future and trust the process that you can create the space to grow, right? Create the space for momentum to take you to the next step, right? And that momentum will really enrich, create a place where you can challenge yourself, not just challenge yourself, but really enrich your vision so that you can see and accomplish and pursue those intentions that you've set for yourself. The third strategy that I want to talk about today is to create affirmations. Now, I know that, your beliefs that you create begin with a thought, okay? And that is not something that you're not familiar with, okay? And so creating affirmations to me doesn't mean that it is affirmations that you have adopted from someone else's experience. Affirmations to me comes from writing down a set of sentences that I can identify with, that are personally part of my truth, part of my story, and writing those down in order to empower me to move to the next stages. What happens when you identify with your own personal story and use those as leverage in order to move you to your next steps? It really gives you the ability to not just identify with those words, but really believing that it is possible because you have been there before. It may not be at the same level. Maybe you're looking to reach a higher level of productivity, but you have been productive before. So how about we begin to create affirmations that surround those areas of productivity that you have been able to accomplish, giving yourself grace, giving yourself some credit to certain things that you have been able to accomplish, and not just focus on those areas that you have not been able to be productive in, okay? Giving yourself grace and credit, making yourself beginning to set yourself in a place or in a space where you begin to believe that you deserve better, that you begin to believe that you can accomplish it, lifting yourself up and really speaking life over yourself so that you can move into the next stages, okay? So when it comes to affirmations, as I believe, I don't believe that you have to eternally use other people's affirmations in order to move forward. Creating your own, using your own words really helps you to build yourself up, reminding you of the truths that are personally yours, right? And this will create less resistance. What do I mean by that? Sometimes when you say something to yourself, right, you have to believe it first in order for anything to happen. In order for those thoughts to become thoughts, you have to first believe in them, right? And thoughts become actions. And so in that process, right, of creating those words just for yourself based on your own truths, then you create less resistance in believing that they can actually happen. All right. And so an example is when I decided to create this platform in order to add more value in others' life. I had to see myself, right, helping others. I had to see myself meeting the women that I would be meeting in order to add value in their lives, uplift them, encourage them, inspire them, right? Bringing resources into their lives that could be part of their own package that they could create in order to move forward in their journey. I had to see myself there, and lo and behold, today this platform exists in order to add value in the lives of others, and it has relatable resources that are available in order to help others move forward where they may find themselves stuck because of lack of resources, stuck not just because of things that they haven't been able to muster up themselves, but perhaps that they don't have access to. And so those are some of the areas that I want you to assess, right? What are one or two areas you will be working on starting today, right? Come up with your own truthful personal affirmations that resonate with you, with your story, so that you can build the strategies that can begin, that you can begin to use today in order to bring about the change that you are looking to make happen in your own life. Now, this process doesn't happen overnight. Okay, this process does not happen overnight. This process can happen for you, right, uh, instantly, but it does not happen overnight, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take years on in order for you to create the affirmations, in order for you to set the intentions, in order for you to love on yourself. Now, there's much, much more that happens inside of our Facebook group. And so I'm inviting you to check out and like our page at Inspired Moms Inspire. And so we are in there, right, providing lots and lots of information that can help you to move along. We also have a YouTube channel that you can subscribe to. And in that YouTube channel, you will not just find inspiration, but you'll find information and tips that will help you to move forward in your journey. And lastly, our website at inspiredmomsinspire.com really offers loads of resources to help you along in your journey. Remember, dream bigger, live better, and make an impact. Stay inspired.